The defining moment was probably 1840 with the publication of this book by Harrison Ainsworth, The Tower of London, a historic romance. Thick volume based around the rise and fall of Lady Jane Grey. Here you will find references to the soil being soaked with the best blood in the country, etc., etc. This is what they came to see. A Tower of London which was first and foremost a grim fortress prison. And this confused the real and the fiction, but in the process became everyone's idea of what the Tower of London was all about.
The heroine of Harrison Ainsworth's lurid tale was Lady Jane Grey, queen for just 9 days in 1554. Edward VI was dead. Powerful Protestants wanted one of their own to take the throne instead of Mary Tudor, Henry VIII's Catholic daughter. 15-year-old Jane was thrust into the limelight and proclaimed queen at the Tower. She failed to get enough popular support and was quickly surpassed by Mary. The Tower became her prison. After 6 months in captivity here, Jane paid with her life. It was an image the Victorians loved. This famous painting of her execution was created by the Frenchman Paul Delaroche. But just how accurate a scene did the artist create for his Victorian audience? We have an anonymous description by someone who saw the real bloody events unfold.
What this account makes clear, first of all, is that Lady Jane Grey is executed outside. She isn't executed in a cellar or in a sort of dripping room full of ancient architecture, as is shown in that painting, but it does happen outside, and the account says that the scaffold on which she's executed was made upon the green over against the White Tower. So this means it's somewhere in the area in front of me here. There's the White Tower. This is what remains of the Tower Green in front of me now. So this event is not taking place in the seclusion of a dark corner of the tower, but it's happening very publicly in the most open area that there is in the tower. However, having said all of that, the account that we have of this execution is actually extraordinary, because what it shows us is that that moment that Delaroche is dramatising in the painting of Lady Jane Grey fumbling for the block with her blindfold on is actually exactly what happened on that day. And my suspicion is that Delaroche had read the account that there is of this moment and is dramatising it in that painting.
She tied the kerchief about her eyes, then feeling for the block said, "What shall I do? Where is it?" One of the standers by guided her there. She laid her head down upon the block and stretched forth her body and said, "Lord, into thy hands I commend my spirit." And so she ended.
So although your suspicion might be on first looking at that painting that it is a completely Victorian concoction, actually it seems that it is really trying to give an impression of that actual moment that does happen here when Lady Jane Grey is executed.
So, surprisingly, the melodrama of Delaroche's painting is not far from the real events at the execution of Lady Jane Grey 280 years earlier.